I have a lot of fingers and a lot of pots. My husband and I also own the Center Wellington ball hockey that's situated in Salem, so that keeps me occupied and fit and healthy, and gets other people in the community out running around, shooting the ball around. Even when it's snowing out, we're still out there. This is one thing I want you to remember through this whole presentation. I'm going to give you a lot of information, and at the end, I am going to be sending you the slides for this, plus a few more other little tidbits, okay? So feel free, if you want to write things down, that's good. If not, that's fine too. If you want to just pay attention to the slides, I am going to be sending these to you. And I want you to be mindful of the fact that email marketing should be your absolute priority if you are running a business, whether it's for-profit or not-for-profit. Your mailing list doesn't have to be thousands of names. Your mailing list could be 10 names, 20 names. But using email marketing in today's world as a tool to get your message out there, I feel is a priority. Now, also in today's session, everyone's been handed a workbook, the Grow Your Business workbook. So when you see the slides turn yellow, that's when we're going to be doing a little bit of work in the workbook. Now, there's lots of us here, and we've got to be very mindful of time, so I'll try to give you a few minutes on each of the sections. Maybe use pencil instead of pen if you want to change your answers. And I also think that we've got extra workbooks up there if you want to grab a few extra copies for yourself. Okay, so these are the big three. How many people are using Facebook for their marketing? Okay, how many people have a LinkedIn account? Good. How many people are using Twitter for their marketing? How many people in the room feel that their efforts using their Facebook page, their LinkedIn, and their Twitter are at their most optimal level? How many people signed up for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter and opened accounts just because? There's always a few just becauseers out there. And that's okay. We're going to get you becauseers turned around to prioritize on the things that are going to matter most. And if you've opened accounts, we're going to let those accounts go by the wayside for now until you focus on one good thing and get that up and running. The next three, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. How many on Pinterest? Okay, Instagram. How many people post videos for business to use? And how many people use email marketing? Oh, good. And of those hands, the constant contact users? Oh, nice. Now, there are other email programs out there. How I started working with Constant Contact, and I really like to make this very clear. I started working with Constant Contact before I even knew Lisa Kemper, before I even knew people in the company, before I was even standing up here doing these types of events. I found Constant Contact online when they were a small company with, I think, 100 employees based out of Chicago, Illinois. They've now grown to, how many employees is that? Over 1,000 employees. And they are still growing and acquiring other companies. Constant Contact to me is one of the best email marketing solutions out there. There are other ones. You can always find something cheaper in this world, but Constant Contact gives you the value for what you pay for. This is very interesting statistic. Out of the 6 billion people on the planet, 4.8 billion have a mobile phone, while only 4.2 billion own a toothbrush. Isn't that staggering? Any dentists in the crowd? I always find that very interesting. 38% of people look at email on their mobile devices or social media. Okay? So whenever you see this icon come up throughout the presentation, that's reminding you of that fact. Here's one of these. Here's reason number 1 here for the 10 reasons why email marketing should be your absolute priority. Number 1 is mobility. 50% of unique opens on mobile devices, and 40% of unique clicks are on mobile devices. So very important. Reason number 2 is market penetration. 91% of people check their email at least once a day. They don't check Facebook necessarily once a day. You don't have that many people with Facebook accounts. You don't have that many people with Twitter accounts. And we'll talk about how things surface up to the top versus Twitter, Facebook, and email. But 91% of people check their email at least once a day. Now, marketing has changed, and it has changed, and it's always changing. It's always changing and evolving. And you need to change and evolve with your marketing and be flexible with it. So the traditional marketing was, you went out, we found all these people, a ton of people, you didn't care who they were, you didn't care what their buying habits were, you didn't care anything about them. You brought them into this sales funnel and they circled around and they converted in the middle, and then you had this tiny little keep pile at the bottom of people that became your clients. The new marketing is, you have those clients and you're converting them to get more clients by getting them to help you to get more clients. And then so your keep pile essentially becomes bigger. So you broadcast out to the people that are already loving your product or your service. Those people are going to tell their friends to love your product and service. And then your keep pile is going to get bigger. Because we can do that now through digital marketing. So that whole engagement piece, it's all about engaging people. So it's engaging them through all your social media, through your email marketing, through any of the marketing, really. I mean, this isn't something that was just started on the onset of Facebook and Twitter and email marketing. Engagement's been back there in the day from, when we were no digital and we were just paper. Engagement's always the key of getting people to buy or engage with your product or service. This is a great thing. You have an advantage. Everyone here, as I'm assuming, anybody here actually let's back up. Would everybody here categorize themselves as a small to mid-sized business owner or in a small to mid-sized organization? Anybody in a large organization? What type of company are you representing? Manufacturing, okay. When we talk about being your authentic self, and even in manufacturing, you can come from the heart. You're not one of the big giants. You're not Coca-Cola, or you're not Walmart that you have to hide behind some corporate speak, essentially. When you're working and you're engaging with people, and even in the manufacturing industry, I've got a lot of manufacturing clients, you can be and you should be your authentic self. Marketing is all about what we call intimacy, being intimate with your client. Once you know them, they know you, and they trust you, you can speak very freely to them, to a point. Now, on emails, we talk about the fact emails need to be branded, they should be branded, and we'll talk about that a little bit further on in the presentation. It's not just enough to look good for your email to be jazzy. There's that engagement piece again. You want that email to be broadcast out there through other social media efforts. So in Constant Contact, there are share bars, like this one at the top, and buttons you can put along the bottom. So when you send that email out to somebody, you're hoping that they're going to share it on their social networks because you sent them such a great email that they just want to share with other people. Or they're going to forward on to their friends. So marketing is and always has been getting that response from people. You put an ad in the paper. A lot of people still using print advertising. Put an ad in the paper, people respond to the ad. You send an email, people click through the email to your website. Maybe you post something on Facebook and they respond, they comment, they like, they share. It's all about that engagement and that response. So 10 reasons why. Reason number 3, analytics in email marketing. You have some solid metrics in email marketing. So for any of you who in this room that need to report to somebody to say that what I've been doing, I'm actually doing a good job, email marketing has those solid metrics. Now, Twitter does have some metrics, Facebook does have some metrics, but email marketing, you can test growth, you can have report open rates, click-through rates, unsubscribe. Even an unsubscribe is an analytic for you because that's somebody that wasn't interested in your product or service. Okay. So we're not doing anything right yet, but essentially, this is what we're going to be doing on your worksheet. So every time you see a yellow slide come up, we're going to first set some marketing goals and objectives. We're going to run some campaigns on the channels that matter, and then we're going to get some measurable results. And hopefully you will leave here with this filled in, even if it's rough. And I can even send you a PDF when I send out the slides to you. You're going to leave here with something tangible. You can go back, for any of you who are working for somebody, you can go back and say, this is what I did today. That was worth it. And this is also going to be our agenda through this presentation as well. So right now we're going to talk about setting those goals and objectives. So essentially, here's some marketing goals. You want to reach the new customer, you want to drive repeat business, you want to nurture some leads, you want to engage, you want to increase donations, you want to increase sales. Those are the goals. Very high up goals. But your objectives are the things that allow you to get specific with those goals. So if you're not for profit, driving some donations this month. Deliver content to a trade show. Fill seats on a Sunday. So again, for an event, fill seats on a Sunday, maybe it's fill seats on a Monday. But you want to do these objectives one at a time. Don't sit down and look at a blank piece of paper and say, these are my goals and I have 50 objectives that I want to accomplish. One at a time. You can prioritize, you can brainstorm, and then prioritize those to be one at a time. But really zero down and focus on the one thing. And that leads back to what I said at the beginning. For social media, you want to pick one thing, do it well, along with email marketing, pick Facebook, pick Twitter, if you're into that. If that isn't your thing, don't do it. Don't open up those accounts just because. All right, here's the yellow slide. So, take out your piece of paper, write down at least one objective. Write down more if you have that's on the front. Stuff, it's okay to look at. So consider for each objective you wrote down, what does success look like for that objective? And try to be specific. So if you achieve that objective, what would be the success of that? Would it be more people attending your event? Would it be sales increase? Would it be leads increase? What does that look like for you? Okay. So now that you have that objective, you want to run your campaign. And you want to run your campaign on the channels that matter to your specific audience. Anytime type of marketing you do, even the old-fashioned way of marketing, you pushed out some type of content somewhere that pulled in a response from somebody somewhere. With social media and email marketing, you can track that, you can trace that a lot better. But you can still wrap this around, because my career started before digital. I always like to pull in some of the older tools of print media and radio. You still ran a print ad. You ran a print ad. The response was maybe to come in and use this coupon in my restaurant. The response was that somebody came in and used the coupon in your restaurant. Simple, right? So remember, everything you do, you're pushing out content to people because you want them to give some type of response. So the types of campaigns that you can run in your marketing, a welcome campaign, just new customers that you get. Say you went to a trade show and you came back from the trade show with a whole pile of leads. And Lisa's going to talk to you about, in the Castle presentation, how you should be now acquiring those leads. But you came back with a whole big stack of leads. Maybe you're going to send out an email, or you're going to send out a letter to those people welcoming them to your business and introducing yourself. You might run some offers and promotions. You might do some event invites. You might do some fundraising. There's tons of different things out there for you to do. A lot of people say, what do I write? I don't know what to write about. If you feel that you are an expert in your business, which I would hazard to say that most of you here are, you know more about your business than the people that you're marketing to. Or you know more about your organization than the people that you're selling to. So you know more than they do. Tell them the things you know. You have access to information that maybe they don't have access to. Original isn't required. It needs to be interesting and relevant. So for my Facebook page for my ball hockey, and that's one of the reasons why I told you about that, our other business, is that ball hockey gives me a lot of good examples for marketing like this, marketing seminars like this. So I push out, not only do I tell people, check the website for scores, or TNT won against Jaeger Bombers last night, 4-1 on my Facebook page, but I'll also put, here's some fitness tips. Here's a good way to warm up. And I'm not writing those fitness tips. I'm taking fitness tips that I found on other websites. And there's tons of tools out there that will allow you to pull in that content. All you have to do is Google, how do I find content for social media? There's sites like Buffer, there's sites like Mention that will allow you to, it'll just pop all that content in your inbox, and you can go through and pick and choose and say, well, this is a really interesting article that my audience might like. I'm going to put that on my Facebook page, or I'm going to put that in my newsletter. The point is you are the person, that key person that's pushing that information out to other people. Right? You have gone on the web and spent your time to find out the information, and you're pushing that information out to people. Less is always more. That has never gone away. So I don't want to see emails that are scrolling nightmares. Give them some snippet information, maybe 3 articles if you're doing a newsletter, plus a little bit of information, maybe an update on something that's going on in your company, and only a couple little teaser lines, and then you want that to click back through to the website. Don't give them a book. Focus. Stay focused. You've written down an objective. Everything you do should have an objective in mind. And there's that 38% mobile. So remember the whole while open rate. So here's some interesting email, just examples. So, you've got Time Magazine, which is more of news, obviously, specials, an event, just general information, helpful information, tips, another interesting event. So there's lots of things out there. What I do on my email is I actually do subscribe. I get a lot. It was funny because my tech was over the other day looking at my computer, and he said, you get a lot of emails every day. Well, I subscribe to a lot of email lists on purpose because that's what I do. So I go in and I subscribe to other people's email lists, and those come in, and I would say 99.9% of the time unsubscribe. You still have those cheaters out there that don't care about spam laws, but I subscribe to other people's emails. And then when I get a really neat email that I really like in my inbox, I save that in a folder in my inbox. This is really, it's actually called great email examples. So then when I'm sitting down and I'm going to do my next email, maybe from Ball Hockey or for a client of mine, sometimes if I'm stuck, I go to that email example file and I pull out, I look, I scroll through, and it gives me inspiration. That's okay to do. Use it. There's tons of great things out there. Repurpose and reuse. So it's okay if you have written an article somewhere and you want to, you pushed it out 6 months ago, or 6 months later you want to tell them again, that's okay. The point is pushing out the information that you have to all of your social networks, even if it's one. So there's some more offers. We sort of talked about that a little bit. You've got discounts, you've got downloads, you've got, supporting a cause. You see a lot of companies, manufacturing maybe, if one of your employees is doing a run, doing some major event, put that on your in your email, your next email newsletter. So-and-so in our company is doing this really amazing event. They're running across the state of Arizona. There was that run. I don't know if you saw that. The run where the people run through the desert. The guy's like at the end. He's like this. I'm like, seriously? He's beaten all, but wow. Unbelievable. So some channels thrive on visuals, love pictures. So email loves pictures, and Pinterest loves pictures. There's Pinterest and Instagram loves pictures, and Facebook loves pictures. So pictures are great. Be very careful where you get your pictures from. There's lots of great stock agencies where you can get royalty-free stock imagery, you can get a subscription, you can download all the stuff, and you're totally protected. Make sure that you are not stealing and posting, especially if you're running a business, information that's not copyright free. Okay? And make sure that if you are taking something that might be a little bit questionable, that you put a credit line with the photo or with the image, or have it go back to their website. So at least you've made that connection, that you're not stealing somebody else's photo. Any photographers in the room? They hate that. They hate it when you steal their stuff, so don't do it. Unless you want to give them a credit. Are you okay if they give you a credit line? Yes. So this is interesting. When you post on Facebook and you post the post plus the video, you get 100% more engagement. You do post plus the picture, 120% more engagement. You post a photo album, 180% more engagement. So it does work. The stats are out there. It may not work the first time you do it, so please don't do it once and it didn't work. Do it again. She said it was going to work. Try it. Keep trying it. That's what marketing is all about. And there's that icon again. So reason number 4 is engagement. Engagement. So what that means is you're sending out an email and you have a link in the email and they're going to click through on your email to go to your website for more information. Or they're going to click through on your email and go to your Facebook page because you're trying to build likes on your Facebook page. Or, there's lots of different examples. So you've got that response. They click through, you've given them a tiny snippet of information that sounds like it's really kind of neat. They've actually clicked on something to go through to your website. If you're giving them absolutely everything in the email that they possibly need to know, you have no way to track or trace other than you know that they've opened up the email, because in Constant Contact that tells you that. For my ball hockey business, I know that my audience engages the most on Facebook. I also know that they can engage on Twitter, but I only have the time to be spending a lot of time on Facebook. So I choose Facebook, and I focus on Facebook. In terms of my marketing business, I opened up a Facebook page only to show people, if you guys want to go there and like it, that's great. But
I think I have 10 people. I only opened that to be able to use that as an example. I don't put any time and effort in that because I know for my marketing business, people are not going, my audience is not going to my Facebook page to find out information. My audience and the target that I'm targeting is, in terms of social media, is very Twitter-based. So find out who your audience is. So instead of going up and opening all of these accounts and trying to figure it out by trial and error, hey, here's an idea, do a survey. Ask your target market what channels that they're on. You know, what do you prefer? Email pushes out. You want to send that email and push them out to all of your other efforts, your social media efforts, if you're doing that. Again, I always say the big if, because I don't want people to leave here thinking, I have to do some type of social media. You don't have to. You don't have to. Unless your audience engages with that, you do not have to leave here doing some type of social media. What you do have to do is you have to leave here because you came here to do some type of email marketing to your clients. So reason number 5, promotional. So 77% of people prefer to receive promotional content through email. Isn't that interesting? I had a client one time, and he's of a different generation and a different mindset. And try as I might, I could not convince him that he needed to use email marketing. Because he had the mindset that any time that an email came into his inbox and he either unsubscribed to it or he deleted it, that therefore the rest of the world was exactly like him. I can tell you something, they're not. Yes, that does happen. It happens to all of us. We all get emails into our inbox that we delete, or we take the time to unsubscribe. But as I told you earlier, even an unsubscribe is a measurable response. So it's a measurable response for people to unsubscribe because that person did not want to receive your content. Now, it's interesting, again, I've had some people on my, because everybody that signs up for ball hockey goes on an email list and we push out schedules and things like that. And I've had people unsubscribe. And if I know the person, I will sometimes engage with them and say, oh, I saw that you unsubscribed from our email database. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that email. Here's my new one. So sometimes, if you know the people and you reach out for those unsubscribes, there's a reason. You know, another woman said, I unsubscribed from your email because I'm on Facebook all the time, and I see all the stuff you're posting on Facebook. Great. Awesome. So email and social, you have to use both. I like to say email and marketing, you have to use both. Social, it's good to have something out there, but social, what it does do is it amplifies your email message. So you send out your email, and then if it gets repurposed on social and it gets sent out more, that message gets bigger. That's why the two work very nicely hand in hand. And social then drives traffic back to your email or to your business, essentially. Reason number 6, integration. So email and social are friends. They do work well together. So here's that yellow slide again. I want you to take a few seconds here and select 1 or 2 campaign types you might want to try. So you can use more later. And write those down. That's on the inside. All right, let's carry on. With what you wrote down, you want to think about what action do you want people to take with what you wrote down. So what is that action? What's the offer? What's the action? What's the campaign? What's the offer? And what are they going to do? Are they coming into your store? Are they picking up the phone? Are they donating? What are they doing? And remember, too, which channels make sense for each of these campaigns. So if you're choosing Facebook, Facebook may or may not make sense. Yep. Sure. Yes. 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 Are you talking about whether you set up a business account or you set it up off of your personal? And sorry, which is the one you're finding it's harder to get momentum? The page. I think it depends really on how you're doing it and how you've set it up. So for example, again, on my ball hockey one, I've set it up as an offshoot of my personal. So where I don't get the benefit of the review, little stars at the top, which you get from the business page, but I get everything else, essentially. So it really, really depends on how you prefer to work. Also in businesses as well, obviously, if you're working for somebody, you may not want to set up their business page off of your personal account. That's probably not a good idea, because if you leave the company, or any employers out here, if your employee sets up your page like that and then they leave with your page. A dummy page? Yes, correct. No, has to be you. Facebook's all about the authentic self. Okay. Got you. Do me a favor. You'll get my contact information. Send me an email with your Facebook page information. Let me take a look at it and see how it's set up, and then we'll go from there. All right. Now, later or never. These questions have all sort of gone through your head. 3 little words that rule your world. So when an email comes into your inbox, people want to know who it's from. They want to know what it's about. And they want to know why. So how will you then be the most recognizable? How is your email going to stand out above all the others? Now, there's the castle thing, and that's what Lisa's going to talk about. There is some Canada anti-spam legislation that Lisa's going to give you some great info on, and how to build your lists properly with this legislation. There's also legislation in the U.S. going on as well. It's not as tight as the Canadian legislation. And there's still the fact that if you are not in Canada or the U.S., you can still send out spam. So it's not going to decrease all the spam in your inbox. It's not going to decrease that little business of people offshore sitting there making people's lives very, very miserable by putting spam into your inbox. It's not going to stop that. But you, as a marketer, need to make sure that you comply with this. I think, personally, it's a great thing. You're going to have to wrap your head around how to do it, but I personally think it's a great thing, because what it's going to do is it's going to refine that list of yours even more. It's going to refine the list of people that you have on your email database, of people that really want to hear from you. So remember that marketing funnel. There's your keep pile getting bigger because those people really want to receive your information. So brand consistency is really important. There's one of my ball hockey ones in the middle there. It's really important when you're pushing out email specifically, but also through the other channels that you're using, that your brand is consistent. Now, it doesn't mean that every single email, if you're using email, has to go out with the exact same template. I use about 10 different templates in ball hockey. But all of them have my logo. All of them speak the same kind of language. All of them look very similar, and they tie in together. Now, it's okay to change it up if you're using something for a year or so and you really want a new look. That's fine. But don't change it up completely every single time you send something out, or your Facebook page doesn't look anything like your emails going out. Your Facebook page is a blue color scheme. Your emails are red. People will get very confused because the world is still very visual focused. We look at pictures. I gave you that stats earlier. We look at photos. We look at color. And we respond to color. Great websites out there with color psychology. It's a really interesting thing to look at to see what captures people's attention. Reason number 7 of why email marketing should be your absolute priority, because email is branded. It's very nicely branded. You have 2 seconds in the email that you send out to capture people's attention. They will look at the first 2 words to decide whether or not they are going to take action today on your email. 2, 2, 2. Very, very simple. 2 seconds, 2 words, today. Look in your own email inbox. You can tell if you're scanning, you've had a busy day, you're leaving here today. I don't want you to get back into work mode again, but you're leaving here today and you check your inbox and you have all these emails coming in. First thing you're going to do is scan the who's it from, and you're going to scan the subject line. And if it's interesting, you're going to open it. So be conscious of that when you leave here today and you look at your inbox. Be conscious of those headlines that captured your attention and made you open those emails. And save those emails. So here's some neat subject lines. Last chance, or last day, that's why I put day in brackets there, to save big. A retail store could use that. Low cost plus high value equals good news. Business to business. 5 reasons why screens are bad for kids. I'm using that for a new ball hockey email I'm sending out. Where to drink beer right now. You could even shorten that even more to drink beer right now. An exclusive look at life on the red carpet. So that's some type of not-for-profit, or you have an event or something. So be very mindful of what you're saying and have fun with it. And if one email that you send out doesn't get as much of an open rate as another one, then that's fine. Have fun. Try it. Don't be worried. Email and advertising is all about trial and error. All right. So use that 2-2-2 principle and write down a good subject line in your workbook or headline for those campaigns you wrote down. Make sure you take that piece of paper and put it at your bedside tonight, because you might wake up in the middle of the night with a really good subject line. Okay, how many people are a little bit, I wouldn't say paralyzed, but maybe very apprehensive to get going because you don't know when to send a post? You don't know when to do it. Anybody worried about that? Yeah, one over there. Everybody, so that means all the rest of you know exactly when your audience wants to receive information from you? You do know that? Oh, just raise your hand. Keeps me interested. So for social media, 3 to 5 times a week is plenty. There are so many great automated tools, and I'll send you some of those as well in my follow-up email. Sprout Social is my favorite. You've probably heard of Hootsuite. I started with Sprout Social a long time ago, and I've watched their company grow and absolutely love it. So you can sit there and you can actually sit down and do all your posts. You can schedule all of your things on maybe a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon or something, and for the month, and then you're done. That's neat, huh? For email, monthly is most common. Now, for my ball hockey people, they get, when we're leading up to every season, they probably get an email from me a week. And I know by sending my emails out and my unsubscribes, when I send out my emails, if I'm sending out to a list of 1,000 people, I might get 2 unsubscribes from each email that I'm sending out. So I know that I'm okay. I know that that's fine. If I'm sending out to a list of 1,000 people and I'm getting 500 unsubscribes, then I know I'm really, really pushing it on my list. So be very mindful when you're using any social, but be very mindful when you're using email to not overtax your list. Don't send too much. Yep? Emails go in through Constant Contact. You can do the exact same thing in Constant Contact. You could schedule your emails for the entire year if you wanted to. For social, there's programs like I said, Hootsuite or Sprout Social. Those are 2 of the biggest ones that allow you to do that as well. And then the great part is all of those programs allow you to have those measurable analytics that I told you about at the beginning. They tell you how many people have opened up the email. They tell you how many people have clicked through the email, how many people have unsubscribed. In Sprout Social, I can see how many people have clicked through the tweet that I posted. I can see how many people have actually engaged with that Facebook post. I can see my new likes. And Facebook within itself has its own analytics. Yes, somebody might say, well, Facebook has that too. It does, but if you're wanting everything in one spot and you want that plus more, then these other programs really offer. And, there's various levels of payment on them. Some are free. Some have a very nominal. I think I pay $9 a month for Sprout Social. And to me, that's very well worth it because it's saving me a lot of time. Find your best day. So how do you do that? How do you know what day your list is going to want to receive that communique from you? A great way to do it, if you don't already know, is dividing your list into 3 groups of people and selecting 3 days in the week to test and then send out your email and see the response. It's really interesting, again, with my ball hockey example. I'm going to ball hockey you to death. I had a great idea one Sunday night. I usually sent out my emails to arrive because I figure for my target audience, it's their recreational thing. So most people aren't really going to be looking if they've got a personal email that they check. They're not really going to be looking at it necessarily during the day. So I want to hit them either on break time, so 10:30, secondary break time, maybe 3 o'clock, or I might want to hit them at about 7 o'clock at night when, they've maybe finished supper and they're winding down, and 7 o'clock at night. So I found those times work well. But I had a great idea one Sunday night. I was sitting there, it was 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. I'd never sent out an email. Typed it all up, sent it out. The response rate I got was double the response rate of what I've gotten from other emails that I've sent out on a Sunday night. So I learned something very valuable, that a lot of my clientele for ball hockey are sitting there on a Sunday night, winding down. Maybe they're playing their day, checking their Facebook page, whatever. So, and I just found that out through trial. So that leads us to this, finding your best time as well. Now, if you Google all of this stuff, there are stats out there. There's lots of blogs and articles and things like that that will help to guide you or could help to guide you. But the best thing, like I said, is just trial and error. Send it out. See what the response is. Didn't work that time? Let's try it out another time. Send it out. You might not want to send out an email to people at 5 o'clock in the morning. Tuesdays, apparently, this was a stat that I just read, Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock is the most productive time of day all week long for people. Tuesdays at 10. Isn't that interesting? What's that?
I just have a question.
Sure.
Since emails
That's a very neat question. When you send out an email through Constant Contact, you see real-time response. So if you don't have anything else to do, or if you just want to amuse yourself, you can sit there and you click this little refresh button, and you can watch as people are opening up your email. It's actually kind of fun. So you will get this surge of people that are actually going to open up your email at the time that you send it. And then you're going to get the trickle-down effect. So it's the surge of people that I love to watch come in. I have nothing better to do. There you go. Lisa knows. 80% of your results come in the first 48 hours. Which is very true, actually. So, figure out your best day, your best time. Don't be romanced by high open rate, measure action. So again, there's that response. You can be a little bit romanced by the high open rate. You got to have something. But what you want them to do is actually get that response. Actually respond to your email by clicking through, calling you, doing whatever. 67% of people don't see images by default. So if you're on Outlook, for example, I think a lot of the Outlook, I'm a Mac user, I'm sorry, but on Outlook, 60% of people don't see images. They actually have to click the little button at the top. So be careful on creating all of your message in your email marketing in a JPEG file and slapping it into the body of an email and sending that out, because most people are not going to see it. So make sure when we're saying to use images for pictures. Don't use images for text. Okay? Text links get more clicks than buttons. I find that very interesting, actually. I use a little bit of both. This one's a great one. Place your logo left or center in the email, because how many people see on their mobile devices, especially BlackBerry, the older BlackBerries with the smaller screens, your email, sometimes you have to scroll side to side on an email. So if you've got your logo on the right-hand side, people aren't going to see it unless they scroll over. Oh, there, that's who it's from. So make sure you have your logo in your email on the left-hand side or in the center. And always include your company name in the text somewhere so people know. Key action must be above the scroll line. Anybody that's in the old newspaper business, they used to call that above the fold line. So when the newspaper sat in the newspaper box like this, everything that was important and got people to buy the newspaper was always above the fold line. Well, that is still true for any type of marketing. So it's above the fold line, the scroll line on your web page. It's above the scroll line on your email. Don't put your most important piece of information way down here where they had to scroll down to find it. So think about that. Just finished working, or I'm working with some restaurant clients, and there's actually an engineering for menus. So where you put the items that are going to make you the most money in the restaurant business, I'm telling your secrets, but the items that make you the most money, the most profitable items on a menu, you put where people look, which is always top right first, and then they come down to the bottom left and then across. It's sort of a Z, actually it's left, over, down, like a Z pattern. So same goes for that. Most important information at the top. Don't give people too many choices. Look at this, click here. Look at this, click here. Here's more information. Here's this, here's that, there's that. No. Think about yourself, what you would appreciate. Don't try to give them everything in the first email that you send out. Make all the images clickable and with some text labels so that if the images don't show up, people know what it is that's sitting there in that empty space on your email. And test it on yourself. Test it on your friends, test it on your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and test it on your mobile device. So until you get the hang of it, if you're just going down that path or you're trying a new template or something like that, make sure you test it, that it looks good. Because things can go wonky. They really can. Different platforms also see things differently as well sometimes. All right. So I want you to, in your workbook here, write down at least 3 days and times you want to test for your emails. All right, now we've done all that, and now we want to get those measurable results. My response is cut off. There's that response again. I'm only giving you half of it because you know what the rest of it is. No, I don't know why that dropped down. So results are in the measurements of actions. You know, you've heard me say this over and over again within the last few minutes here of this presentation. Click or download, come into the store, schedule a session, donate, call. They've done something with your marketing efforts. Something. Reason number 8 is return on investment. For every dollar spent in email marketing, there's $44.25 return on investment. Somebody has actually figured that out. There are lots of marketing geniuses out there who sit and statistics are their life. They have figured this out. So for every dollar spent. If you have an email list of under 500 for constant contact, it's only about $10 a month. Pardon? Oh, 15, sorry. $15 a month. So email is hard to beat. You've got that lots of physical, measurable response. You've got the branding. You've got your logos up there. You've got that very visual thing. It helps to monetize your social media. It's got all these great things going on. So what if somebody unsubscribes? So what if somebody doesn't open your email? You've still, to me, if you've reached one person with your message, and you get that one person to buy, and it costs you $15 a month to send to have constant contact, a constant contact account, and one person bought a good or service or whatever it is that you're offering, don't you think that that's good return on investment? Isn't that better than an ad in the newspaper? Not knocking any ads in the newspaper or any publishing here because, as I said, I believe that you've got to have lots of things in your toolbox. But the return on email marketing, you cannot beat it. So to expand your reach within those emails that you've sent out, especially through constant contact, you've got this great simple share tool. So this again is scheduling. You've created your email, you've got a Facebook page or you have a Twitter account, you've scheduled your email to go out and you click on that simple share button, and when you click, I want my email to go out now, when that email gets distributed, it also goes on your Facebook page or it goes to your Twitter account or wherever you told it to go, even your LinkedIn account. So that's really, really important. Those are the big three: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. If you can get that message out there, if you're on those, get it out there. And that's what it looks like if it goes into your Facebook page. So it's got your subject line, it'll have whatever photo. And make sure you've got those social media buttons. So I talked about that at the very beginning. Make sure you've got those buttons on there so people can click back. And these aren't the share social media. These are the ones that allow them to go to your other pages or channels that you have set up. So reason number 9 is reach for emails. 18% of emails get blocked, and 4% are delivered to spam. You still got 78% left there. So that client of mine was in that whatever. My argument to him was there was still 78% of people out there for me to market to. Nothing is ever going to be 100%. In anything that you do, nothing's going to be 100%. I would settle for 78%. I really would. So, ways to build your list. If you're a retail store, you can build them at a register, at your cash register, for example. Check at the end of the meal if you're a restaurant. There's lots of different ways. Trade show, you can have a ballot, you can have a draw. There's lots of things, and Lisa's going to touch on the compliant ways to do this. Lots of different ways. Apps on websites. Constant Contact has their fun little app that you can connect with your Facebook page. So make sure when you're building, have that everywhere. You can have it on your website, join my email list. You can run little contests, fun contests to join your email list. And Lisa will talk about this, but just make sure that people know why they're joining your list and what that expectation is going to be. lots of different apps out there. You can just Google join my list or Facebook or apps to get emails or whatever. There's lots of different things out there. Here's just a few. On the bottom of your emails, on the bottom here, you can have join my mailing list. So if that gets forwarded over to somebody else, somebody loved your message so much they forward it to a friend and they're not part of your list, then that allows them to join your list. So don't forget about all the possibilities that are out there to capture more people. Some other tools, you can have scan to join, that's a constant contact. Text to join is a constant contact piece. I capture mail, Y-stamp, shoebox. There's tons and tons of tools. We could be here forever. So the number 10 reason is lifespan of why you should absolutely be using email marketing. Facebook post has about a 1 hour lifespan. Very important to remember. You can sabotage your own Facebook post, for those of you who are on Facebook. I saw a friend the other day, and she was trying to get a new Facebook page up and running. And so she posted something. She was so excited because she had half an hour to work on her Facebook page. So she did 10 posts at once. She just sabotaged all her 10 posts. Facebook, if you don't want to use Hootsuite or Sprout Social, Facebook also has a little tool at the bottom of every post on the left-hand side that allows you to schedule that post. So if you don't want to use those other tools and you're sitting down, you've got half an hour on your Facebook page, you've got all this great things to talk about, make sure you don't sabotage your own posts. Facebook post, 1 hour lifespan. Oops. Shoot, I don't know how to go back. Maybe that one. There we go. Tweet is 5 minutes. If you sit there with an open Twitter account, you can just watch it. Just watch it coming in, depending on how many people you're following. It's unbelievable. So 5 minutes. An email requires an action to end its life. I love that. You either have to open it, you either have to delete it. Even if you have deleted it, know that somebody has read your subject line and deleted it. Right? They've seen it. So in order to end that email's life, unless you have an inbox with 10,000 emails hanging out in there and 8,000 of those you haven't even looked at, that person has had to have done something to end that email's life. Right? And hopefully they have clicked through and gone to your website. So some constant contact tools, you've got your email marketing, social campaigns, and Event Spot are some additional tools. Constant Contact on their website has got some awesome training, tutorials, videos, things like that on all of their tools. When you phone them, you actually get a real person on the line, which is great as well, and you're not on hold forever. Some tools that can save your money. How many people have a website for their business or association? How many people have Google Analytics on their website? For those of you who do not have Google Analytics, that's the one thing I want you to do when you leave here today. Write that down on your piece of paper. Talk to my website person about getting Google Analytics on my website. Without Google Analytics on your website, you have no idea who is coming to your page. You have no idea who's interacting with you. It's a free program put out by Google. It's a tiny bit of code that you give your programmer. They put it on your website behind the scenes. It's not a hit counter. It's not that. Don't have a hit. How many people have a hit counter on their website? Good. Oh, really? That actually shows how many hits? To the public? Oh, okay, good. There are still some dinosaur websites out there with that little hit counter down in the corner that really didn't mean anything. No, make sure that you have an analytics program, and as far as I'm concerned, Google Analytics is one of the best out there. Even if you've bought a custom content management system and the company says, well, I give you analytics, here they are. Ask them, hey, can you just put Google on there too for me so I've got access to both? Gives you some great statistics. Without that, you're flying blind. Hootsuite we talked about. Google Alerts is another thing, so you can set up an alert for your business name if you want. And into your inbox, you can change it, stop it, whatever, at any time. In your inbox comes every time your business name is found by Google, you'll get an alert into your inbox. Great way to find content, great way to spy on competitors. You put their email, see what they're doing, how often they're changing their content. So what that does is every time new content comes onto Google and Google has crawled it, it'll send it, and that keyword comes up, it'll send it to your inbox. Really neat. Nutshell Mail is one that I use. Again, that's a free thing. You don't have to have a Constant Contact account. You can sign up for Nutshell Mail right away. What happens is you schedule the mail to come into every time, that somebody has interacted. Sorry, I'm going down the wrong path. You can schedule the time for an email from Nutshell Mail to come into your inbox. You connect this with your social platforms. So you connect it with your Twitter account or your Facebook account, your Pinterest account, whatever. And I have mine set. I get a Nutshell Mail at 10 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock every day. And instead of going to those accounts, I also have my clients' accounts hooked up to that. Instead of going to those accounts every day, say I'm on the road, I get that Nutshell Mail, I can say, oh, geez, I've got to respond to somebody. Somebody commented on my Facebook page, I've got to respond on that. Or it tells me how many people have actually clicked through a post that I put on Facebook, how many people maybe have shared it, how many people have commented it, and I can click right into that email and respond. So it's a great free tool. I am tweeting right now, actually. So be yourself. You have that ultimate advantage. Be that authentic self. Be intimate with your clients because you know them best. You know your business best. There's my phone number. You can call me. I will be available for you through any of these connections. If you need help on your social media in terms of you want to send your email, you've just created an email and you want to send it to me, go for it. Just put it at the top so I know what it is. Send it out to your Constant Contact account and say, hey, Jackie, can you just check this and see if I've got a really good subject line here? Bounce it off me. I want you all to succeed. I want people to succeed. If you haven't got a Constant Contact account, contact me. There's a great free trial for Constant Contact. We can get a website match so I can get your Constant Contact template to match your website so that we can make sure your branding jives. We can get those things all set up in your account, answer any questions. So contact me if you're thinking about opening up a Constant Contact account or if you want to expand and use some of those other tools that Constant Contact has. So, Roberta, what is our time? I just want to know for questions.
It's 10 after 2.
10 after 2. So we're good. Okay, so let's do maybe like 10, 15 minutes of questions then? Okay. Any questions? She's coming with it. Here she comes with the microphone.
You mentioned that with the simple share, you can go on LinkedIn. Is there a way to get it to go to your LinkedIn business page instead of your personal LinkedIn?
Absolutely, yes. You just put up whatever the LinkedIn address you want to go to.
And that will work for your business page?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's one down here. One right over here. Oh, 2. Okay.
Hi. You had said a couple of statements that I just wanted to touch base on because I think there's probably some clarity that needs to be addressed. When someone unsubscribes from your email, you said you can reach out to them. I don't think you can legally.
I clarified that by saying if I know the person and they are a friend of mine, I have reached out to them because I want to know that analytic of why did they unsubscribe. That helps to give me more information. You are exactly right. Legally, you cannot reach out or you should not reach out to people and start because people can become defensive. I've done it for the people that I know so that I can find out or figure out why they may be unsubscribed.
So like your personal contacts then as opposed to people that subscribe to a list?
Totally.
Okay. In terms of social media and things like that, you said to play in sort of, just the things that you can deal with, like Facebook or Twitter or things like that. But for SEO, you need all of those. or you should be squatting on those at least for social signals?
SEO is a completely different animal. For those of you that don't know, SEO is search engine optimization, or another terminology for it is SEM, search engine marketing. Completely different animal from your social media tools.
I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. So
Yes.
people that are squatting and doing things and not doing things with their things, that's okay too.
Yeah.
And then is Google Plus going to be put in the simple widget?
Lisa? Yes?
Is there an ETA on that?
There you go.
Okay,
She doesn't know the ETA, but it is coming.
great, thank you.
Roberta, she's right down here. Roberta, right there you go. Oh.
I was actually just curious about LinkedIn. Someone mentioned it. How important do you feel it is? Because I've just found it. I got on someone's list. I don't even know why I did, and now they will not unsubscribe me, and I'm ticked at them. What are other people's experiences, and is this really necessary? Like,
So what do you mean you're on their list?
well, it was like a friend sent it, and it was new when it, and I signed
Yeah.
up, and then thinking, why am I doing this? What is this?
Yep.
And I never used it, and I tried to shut it, unregister and unsubscribe, and it won't. They keep sending me stuff, but that's kind of beside the point. My point is, I'll do it if do you feel like LinkedIn is extremely necessary as a
Okay, well, let me
small
just
business?
address your first thing. What are you trying to unsubscribe from? Are you trying to delete your LinkedIn account, or are you trying to get this person to stop?
I want LinkedIn to stop emailing me, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
That's just the opinion I have of it now. So I want to know now if you think it's worth it that I actually reactivate it and use it.
I am a very firm believer that if you are a professional in anything that you do, you feel professional, or you have a job or even a career, that LinkedIn is important. And I do a whole completely different seminar that's all based on LinkedIn. But personally, I feel LinkedIn it can be your online resume. It's your online, it's essentially showing people what your identity is. So for example, if you go to my LinkedIn account, you're going to see, I don't post, I should back up a second here. For my Facebook stuff, my personal Facebook page, I am very, very, very careful about what I post. I'm very careful about what personal information I share. Something that's on Facebook, a picture you post of yourself on Facebook having fun last Saturday night, is even if you get rid of that post or that page, you delete it, that image, it's still out there. It only takes one person to have seen that image, and that image will then be forever on Facebook even if you delete it. So be very cautious about what you put out there. But on my LinkedIn page, it essentially is everything that you need to know about Jackie Ranahan and what I do in my career life. So it has my volunteer activities on there. It has my business history. It has the businesses I own now. So I think that that's very important. It gives you that credibility out there. Okay. A lot of employers are using, I don't know any HR people in here? Yes? LinkedIn is a tool that you definitely go to if you're going to hire somebody. I'm finding more and more clients that I go into now on a cold, so they found me somehow and asked me to come in and do a proposal on a new website or something. More and more people now are saying, yeah, I saw that on your LinkedIn account. Yeah, I saw that there. Yeah. So people research you.
Okay, thank you.
One more thing on LinkedIn I want to remind people, make sure you have a good picture of yourself. Don't look like a criminal on your LinkedIn page. Don't have a picture of you in your bathing suit on the beach on your LinkedIn page. And whatever you do, don't have an avatar on your LinkedIn page. The real you. Go to the two photographers that we have here and get a good picture of yourself taken. It's important.
Do you have a recommendation of which template to use, whether it's 1 column, 2 columns, or 3 columns, as far as mobile devices are concerned?
Well, Constant Contact does have some mobile templates, but to be quite honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of them. Sorry, Lisa. I'm not a huge fan of their mobile templates. I think, again, Kirk, it's trial and error that you need to create your email and send it out, look at it on your mobile device, see how it looks, see how it, if it works. I haven't had anybody complain that an email that I've sent doesn't look good on their mobile device. people find a way to work. If anything, it's scrolling side to side. But again, that's why you don't put a humongous scrolling email. You limit the information you're sending out to people. Anybody else? Oh.
I have a question about the simple share
Yep.
function. Is there a way to, the URL that right now gets captured and placed on your Twitter and your LinkedIn make reference to constant contacts? Is there a way to have that removed?
I don't think so. Lisa? Can you edit it and take out the constant contact reference?
From the URL that's posted on your...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because
Yeah, because essentially the simple share, it's going through the constant contact engine.
So is there any plans of changing that? Because it's... Okay, no, I understand it's through your server, but is there a way that because then it looks like it's coming from constant contacts and not from your company? Okay.
Oh, one in the back over here. Thank you for being so engaging.
Hi, I have a question about social media. You said you didn't have to post more than 3 to 5 times a week. On most social media sites I've been on, it says you should post 3 to 5 times a day.
For email?
No, just for every other social media, like Facebook and Twitter and...
There are so
and
many...
I feel so overwhelmed. I'm thinking, I can't do 3 to 5 times a day.
There are so many statistics out there. Essentially, it's that measurable response. So, if you can only... I'm a firm believer in doing what you can do. I don't want to give you this huge shopping list and leave today here and say, you've got to open up an Instagram account, Pinterest account, you've got to have LinkedIn account, you've got to have email, you've got to have all this kind of stuff, and you got to post 3 to 5 times a day, you have to do this. Do what's within your capability to do.
Okay.
Any virtual assistants in the room? No? Virtual assistants are fantastic. Most of them, a lot of them, focus on helping you in social media. I have a virtual assistant. She's in South Carolina. She's always sending me pictures of how nice and warm it was, and then I laughed the day that they got the ice storm. I have a virtual assistant in South Carolina. So when I feel bogged down, I can hire her for an hourly rate. She knows my business, she knows me, and she has access to my accounts, and she can go in and help me out. It's a huge growing business. So if you can't do it yourself, and you feel that you need to engage a little bit more with your market, then there's lots of ways you can get that help. Another thing is just sit and schedule those posts. So if you sit down and you schedule those, I do week chunks. I don't do a whole month. I do a week. So a lot of times I'll sit there and I'll schedule a week of posts, and then I don't have to worry about it. Anybody else? Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I'm serious about the fact that I am available. So if you need any help doing anything, you want to try a constant contact trial account, we'll get you all set up. Come to me because there's other tips and things that I can help you with as opposed to going to them necessarily direct. I can get your account set up for you. And thank you so much for spending the time with me here this afternoon. I really appreciate it. Oh,
got one more question here.
What? What's that? Be fair. I am very fair. I have a standard hourly rate that I charge $50 an hour.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, maybe we'll take about a 20-minute break, and then we can come back and be on time so Lisa can get started, and we'll go from there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.